Okay. All right. First off, let's start with this. Feedback single back button assistant and assistant highlight mode. In the legacy of art or PTR, there are new ways to interact with the game. A single button assistant and the assistant highlight mode. They are assigned to new players. Players who are trying out new specialization, or those looking for guidance and additional guidance on ability usage. These modes only manage your damaging spell and are primarily designed to be used by damaging specialization. Both will still function if you train them as a tank or a healer, but they will only cycle through your damaging abilities, and not your healing AoE survival. It is the new cooldown manager added in 11.1.5 update that these will continue to evolve over time. The single bottom assistant is a spell you can click and drag onto your action bar or on the top of your spell book and then use just like any other spell on your action bar. The single button assistant will cycle through a prior list of abilities that your character know and automatically use them against your target. To see the full list of abilities that your current specialization use, you can right-click on this ability on the top right in spellbook and will cycle through. Using this single button assistant will impose a penalty on your global cooldown. Okay, so this is interesting. Uh, I, so from what I understood is that people don't like it. Many fucking. If you see my gameplay, you will. If you see my gameplay, you will understand that like my gameplay is the gameplay of the degenerate. And my cycles are not your cycles, not even your cycles. Okay. Um, it's the cycles of the fucking like monster degenerate that like actually like understand what's going on their screen, right? Most player, especially the World Within, brought a lot of players, and now with the cycling of classic WoW to modern WoW, because believe it or not, like there's a lot of like players that actually are into um well into getting into modern WoW, retail WoW, to actually get into the game. And here's the thing, accessibility is always good. Look, dude, the dude will not fucking finish a galley mythic plus with a single button assistant. You will not uh you will not be able to fucking like go mythic plus 10 using the single button system. But what I know is that like it will help a lot of players, because like here's the thing, we Genshin now, like no, it's we playing like Onkai, where like there is like basically an option to just like let the play game itself, play the game play itself. No, but like people tend to forget about the average and new player playing these games that really don't fucking know. Do you understand? Like it takes half an hour to just like read the first attitudes and understand what the world is about. It is this difficult. It is really difficult. WoW is a difficult game. Like it's more difficult than Valorant or League of Legends, because it's not, oh, you read this and then you have to be good at mechanically. There's a lot of like, I need to understand situations, and I need to understand like a lot of things. And I'll tell you this, like after seeing toxicity so much, after seeing just like awful people so much in Mythic Plus, again, if this helps someone that is stuck at Mythic plus three to get to Mythic plus 10, because this is like, this won't be able, you won't be able to match this AI, this because like this is based on basically an AI assistant, will never fucking match the at least in WoW, your own skill. So this will be actually really, really just a leeway for for players to actually get better, or a leeway to actually for new players to actually get somewhere whatsoever. And this is really great. I think that like more inclusivity, like people are always happy about like inclusivity when it comes to handicaps. So handicaps, injuries, and people who are struggling. Being inclusivity when it comes to new players is, and it's important, like it's really good that like they actually talk about new players. Mm, because when they were designing the single button assistant, they had new players uh, in mind. And inclusivity to new players is similar but different to inclusivity to actually handicapped players. Okay. And so because of that, like inclusivity is always great. The more people play WoW, the more WoW actually like the better content we get, because more money for Blizzard, but also the more people we get, the more fun and the more beautiful like meetings we can get, like the more adventures we can get with new players. So yeah, a single button assistant actually great for the game. Actually great for the game. You are not the average player. You are not the new player Blizzard is targeting with this. You are a good player already. They are not. They want to be good. Let them. They don't have the. They don't have the resource, the intellectual resource to go on fucking like internet to get like to read a fucking to read a 500 words guides to just know how to use a single cooldown, right? And let me just check one thing real quick. uh okay, so yeah, so single bottleneck system, I actually love it. And I'll add to that, to be fair, like there are like some things that are really like sometimes you're tired, right? And sometimes you just want to play the game, but like you don't want to. You have a complicated class, for example, and you don't want to fucking like go and play your fucking like fucking like a piano symphony to just fucking like do three quests. This can also help like to just like make the game easier when actually, well, you want to make it easier for yourself just because you're tired, just because you're kind of like, just because you did a mythic plus and the people were like awful or something like that. Okay, so I think it's great. As let's see the let's see let's talk about now the assisted highlights. The assisted highlight is a slightly more advanced version of the single button assistant. To use this feature, you will need to enable the assisted highlight with the option in the advanced option tab in the gameplay option menu. The assistant highlight doesn't automatically cycle through your ability like your single button assistant does, but rather recommends a button to press for your next action by highlighting a, on your action bar with a green border. There is no penalty on to the global cooldown for using this mode. Okay, so this is the leeway for a new player to become, for a new player, a noob player, to become an average player or a good player. Look, dude, we are, listen, friend, we are not in the age of people like understanding fucking like playing vanilla, having played vanilla like me, or people having like done like multiple like accounts and stuff, or even for you actually like assist a single button assistant highlight. You want to know what the fuck it can help you? It can help the same people that fucking like complain about it, because they get to they can re-roll, recreate, like basically go up for a new class, and actually don't have to fucking like go through like 2 weeks of like theory crafting to understand what the fuck you're supposed to do with this class. So it allows also to for new players to actually choose classes that seem complicated at from to them, but also and also like being able to gain experience for the time being. The single button assistant and the assisted highlight are not made to be used forever. They're used for someone to actually get better and then do his thing, and eventually become like this player, someone that actually like understand what he's doing and actually be a good player, you know. So I actually fucking dig both of it. Let's see the design guidelines. The single button assistant and assistant highlight mode do a lot of things, but they will not fully play your character for you. There are several different decisions about our expectation for what these buttons perform and recommend for you. The single button assistant and assistant highlight mode will adjust your ability from changing talents and include them in the cycle of capability abilities used or highlights. Swap between single target and AoE damage spell based on priority of enemy near you and your primary target. The single button assistant and assistant highlight once. Move your character around the world or using any mobility button like blink, sprint, or heroic leap. Change target for you if you change target for you if your target dies or your debuff or want to debuff multiple enemies. Use major offensive cooldown like Avenging Wrath, Blade Storm, Ascendance. Interrupt your enemy's otherwise utility or crowd control spell. Heal your low life character or use defensive abilities. Use any trinket, potion, trade skill item, or any similar inventories. The feedback we're looking at is your thoughts and abilities that are used improperly in a sequence, ability that are not used at all, any bugs you encounter. Okay, so with these guidelines, this is perfect. So, single button assistant and assisted highlights. A revolutionary, and a really big, a great step forward when it comes to new players. You do not know how many new players start World of Warcraft, modern World of Warcraft, and fucking quit the game after a week. Okay, with this is actually what they need. And you do not know how many fucking like players that usually complain about the game, that abandon their dream class because they're not able to they don't have the energy or the time or simply basically the skill to get to fucking watch all the fucking like guides and stuff to get into to the part where it's fun and interesting and challenging to play your class. With this design guidelines, it's just a basically free DPS button, not a good one, a free DPS button, and you see what you do. It's not crowd control. It's not a fucking like other thing. It's not a fucking like it doesn't it doesn't fucking like targets for you, which is actually, this is actually important. It doesn't targets for you, so this is really really good, because basically like you'll still have to play the game just like always, except that like you go from like you go from your normal rotation to actually, well, auto rotation. It does not does interrupts for you, so this is good. So for a new player, you'll needs to actually like become you'll need to get used to using, let's say, like healing pots, or do use trinkets, or actually use cooldowns, right? It does not use your big cooldowns as well. uh well, with the one single button, the single button assistant, they will be able, in competitive environments, in challenging environments, able to learn how to use their cooldowns, how to learn how to use their trinkets, or learn how to use their potions, and learn how to use um learn how to use basically what was the last one, and learn how to use mobility, mobility spells. Do you know many times I'm doing Mythic I'm at Mythic Plus. Do you know many people can interrupt in Mythic Plus other than me? Usually one or two people. Do you know who the fuck never interrupts in Mythic Plus 10? And make the game like make the Mythic more challenging for everyone? Almost nobody. Almost no one is fucking like doing interruptions. Okay. So for example, like, so this is good because it will be, so this is really really good for new players and players that want to learn and become better, because this will never be a replacement and basically an AFK button for like challenging content, but this is will be like a good good basically tool for players to go from newbie to good player, because they really like, when it comes to design guidelines, they really really did the right choices. They did the right choices because they could have added basically cooldowns. Okay, they could have added interrupts. Okay, but since they don't have it, it just allows you to actually, for the new player, to actually learn how to use his cooldowns and his interrupts, while not thinking about this class rotation, while learning what is class rotation is, by seeing it being performed by the single button assistant. So and then, so basically the cycle goes like this: you start by using the single button assistant, and then you use assisted highlights, and then you remove it, or you keep assisted the highlight if you feel more comfortable with this. I think that this is actually a really 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 good thing. This is a step forward, because I'm about to check the Reddit for you're about to see a lot of negativity about this thing, and I'm telling you that like these people that do not as it always forget the new players that want to join the game, because they find it beautiful looking, they find the adventure interesting, and they cannot, because they will tell to you the same way that I'm telling to you that their perception of the game, it is too complicated, and they don't have like the scale to even like get better at it. and they don't have the time as well sometimes. And it's normal for like a player to not want to spend 6 weeks to just fucking understand what the fuck is going on his screen, to then get go into a group and people telling you to go to basically end your life because you were not able to perform. Okay, so single body assistant highlights, really, really, really a great addition to the game. This is like life changing for many, many, many new players, and and I praise Blizzard for that. This is really, really great. So thank you, Blizzard, for thinking about like new players and players that just want to be better and that do not know to use guides or to navigate guides on the internet, and or simply do not want to, and because they find it scary to fucking like watch a guide from the dude that actually fucking finished the game and stuff like that, and that wrote like a fucking like essay on how the fuck you're supposed to play. Okay. And on top of that, like I'll tell you this, sometimes these guides and stuff, they're not perfectly accurate because the game is so complicated and so convoluted, right? So